Whose bright idea was it to forgive and forget? It's been an idiom of the English language for over 600 years, forgive and forget. Yet, is it really good advice? I ask because when we're being recommended to forgive, forget seems to be the very next word we all think of. Yet I think forgetting is only in the best interest of the person who has done the wrong in the first place. I'm sure they'd love for you to forget what they did. I'm guessing it was a guilty party who first invented the phrase to get themselves off the hook. Not so fast. Remembering is accountability. For instance, we should definitely remember U.S. Confederate history. That's not the same thing as honoring it. We have special places for things we want to make sure we don't forget. They're not the same places we put things we wish to honor. We will have to forgive our past in order to come to terms with it. But we won't accomplish it by forgetting. Some history just needs its proper place and context. And just as there's a difference between remembering and honoring, there's a difference between forgetting and forgiving. Forgiving is about letting go of the anger, resentment, and hurt we experience as a result of someone else's actions and no longer allowing those emotions to have power over us. It's not letting them off the hook. It's about letting go of the poisonous after effects of our experience. They no longer serve a purpose except to hold us back. Our continued emotional hold on our pain only helps them keep winning every time our hurt is remembered afresh. As long as we don't forgive, their knife is still in the wound, doing its damage. Only they don't have to do anything except to go on with their lives. We're the ones now holding the knife in place. You can take it out now. It's time to heal, which can't happen fully if we forget about what hurt us in the first place. We can't learn from our trials if we forget about them. Remembering while forgiving is the key, as well as the hardest thing of all to do. It's easy to maintain forgiveness when we've forgotten the hurt. Sadly, that's how history repeats itself, when we brush our past under the carpet. But we can separate the two. We can work through and heal the emotional pain while retaining the historical fact. This is the basis of all trauma therapy. It's understandable to say something like, well, I'll never forgive them for what they did as long as I live. But forgiving is not condoning. You can forgive someone whom you still plan to prosecute. But it'll be easier to create solutions that will actually change things for the better, rather than just perpetuating the old cycles of vengeance. This is the difference between retributive justice and restorative justice. One just punishes. The other wants to know why it happened and takes steps to heal the original wound so it never happens again. One silences a bell to the universe. The other rings it. We don't forgive to allow the wrongdoing an opportunity to repeat itself. That's what remembering is really all about. Sometimes that means forgiving someone strictly for our own sake, but not continuing the relationship because trust is gone. Forgiving doesn't always mean getting together again. Sometimes it's just closure. Forgiveness itself is not something we just do once in a while. It's a life practice. It stems from the practice of non-resistance. For as you may remember, non-resistance is a platform of allowing that gives us permission to see those who have trespassed against us in a more human light. Non-resistance is preparation for forgiveness. There, but for the grace of God go I, we forgivingly might say. When someone's harmed us, either deliberately or accidentally, we undergo a chemical and emotional stress protocol in our bodies. Depending on whether or not the person who harmed us is remorseful and has perhaps validated our experience with genuine apology, we're able to achieve a sense of peace about what's happened and can move on. But this doesn't typically happen, especially with more serious offenses. It isn't often we get the kind of validation and remorse we truly need from those who've harmed us. We usually have to forgive those who aren't actually asking for our forgiveness and who probably have no interest in validating our negative experience with them. Our inner peace isn't handed to us on a silver platter. We have to work for it. That's where life practices come in, dharmas. They guide us toward right actions we might otherwise only be able to manage under the most perfect circumstances. And life is rarely, if ever, perfect. We need tools. We need practice. Notice the difference between anger and rage. Anger is motivating, sometimes even productive. Rage is only destructive. If you feel rage, even rightfully so, it means the situation has moved you into a state of reduced effectiveness toward your goal. You've allowed it to go too far. Take steps to correct it. As an exercise toward this, try to see the humanity in your opponent and be allowing of the existence of their fear. Pray for them. This will offset the balance in your brain chemistry and downshift your rage back to a more effective and less personally damaging regular old anger. Your actions will reflect your higher presence of mind, and they may even affect how your opponent responds. Is consciousness at work here too? What do you think? The practice of forgiveness on a daily basis for ourselves as well as others begins, as all things do, in small ways. Notice your feelings. Don't judge them, just notice them. Passively observe them as if you had a mini stenographer sitting on your shoulder taking notes. See if you notice a pattern in the types of things which upset you most. If you see a pattern, there may be something in you that is being triggered by the things having nothing to do with the present situation. Be curious about them. Make sure you understand your triggers and not let them negatively impact the present. Sometimes we're more hostile than we mean or than the moment required. Was our outburst all for the person who just upset us? Or was some of the excess leftovers from the past? That's when the rubber really hits the road in the practice of forgiveness. We have to open up the cans of worms we've been avoiding. There's always a stack of old things waiting to be let go. Chip away at the pile one thing at a time. You'll be surprised at how quickly it goes once you start. Notice what you do when you get mad. This is so important. If you're a person who brags about how no one wants to get on your bad side, or if you take pride in holding on to grudges, you may have some work to do in this area. If you believe that no one can be trusted and that you trust no one as a matter of principle, you definitely have some forgiveness work to do. And it won't be easy, but it will change your life. Start small. Avoid revenge at all costs, even if it means swallowing your pride. Don't worry, you won't choke on it. Choose to see the dignity and humanity in those who've hurt you and treat them as such. They will still be accountable for their own actions, but you will no longer be a victim of theirs. Be at ease now. As you breathe, picture a swirl of blue and green light floating and moving effortlessly in front of you. Breathe into this light. As you inhale, take in the blue. Let it enter through the breath and flood your body, calming and serene. Feel its cooling effects as it enters each cell and fiber. Feel peace saturate into you like water into dry soil. Continue to breathe in this sacred blue light. Receive now the green. Focus on the green light in the swirl before you. With each breath spreading throughout your body, feel wellness enrich you, healing and grounding. Feel vitality and life force affecting each tiny part of you. seeking out dis-ease and holding it, comforting it. Continue to breathe in this sacred green light. Let these two colors empower you as we proceed. You are safe here. Breathe into your safety. Exhale your fear. Nothing can harm you now. In this moment and at this time, be at ease and breathe. You are the center of the entire universe. Paradoxical as it may seem, in a universe with no up or down, every point of individual existence is a center point. This is a metaphor. Allow yourself to serve as the center. It does not take away anyone else's center point or view. Take ownership of your own. It is only for you. In this space, all things revolve around you. From here you have a particular vantage which no one else has. Not quite. This spot allows you to look at things from a perspective which is completely unique. What is your view from here? You must decide. We always choose the color of the glasses we wish to view the universe from our unique perspective. For this, choose a pair of glasses with one blue lens and one green, and put them on. And breathe. As you look around you now, the blue-green glasses resting comfortably on the bridge of your nose, a bit of truth begins to be seen, as if a computer-generated overlay is on the inside of your glasses, giving you backstory information about everyone you look at or think of. With every negative or unloving action they take, a list of the history of their wounds corresponding to their present outburst shows on the screen, informing you why they just did what they did. What do those stories tell you? As you breathe, feel a weight being gently lifted from your heart. You start to investigate the backstories of your deepest enemies and learn about the very human pain which exists there. They merely shared their pain with you in the wrong way. Forgive them, for they know not what they do. Allow your curiosity to explore the figures of history and those who are making history right now. What truth about the motivations for their unloving acts might be revealed there? Is there room for compassion? Is there a way to allow your heart to be at ease? Is there a solution in view which might end the cycle of violence and revenge, or one that only perpetuates it? Choose the former and breathe. You turn now to a mirror at your left. You look at yourself through the blue-green light of the glasses. You ask for your own truth now. In doing so, the mirror suddenly shifts its image to reveal your own regretful actions, as well as the list of wounds from the past which caused them. What truth about the motivation for your own unloving actions might be revealed there? Is there room for compassion toward yourself? Is there a way to allow your heart to be at ease about you? And breathe. Self-forgiveness is the center point of the life practice. You are the center of that universe. Use your special vantage point to understand more fully the inner secrets which drive your feelings and actions. Use it to glean the hidden wounds of others by examining their actions through a more compassionate lens. Read between the lines to find the part of them with which you now must engage, not their actions, but their wounds. Engage with them on the level of their wounds. That is the driving factor behind their actions. That is the pathway of accomplishing forgiveness. This is the route to solution and resolution both. Your adversaries are speaking truth to you, even if not with words. Forgiveness looks beyond their words to find compassion for their humanity, so that we may engage with them strictly on that level where we have the most in common. As you breathe in these last moments, you realize that you are no longer wearing the blue-green glasses, yet you still see the same blue-green way as with them on. You realize that they have become a permanent part of you. They are yours now. Namaste.